It feels like we haven't done this in forever, but Geoff and I are back today, and we're going to show him a legitimate classic from Wrestlemania 10.
I'm excited.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
It's 2 minutes for roping. I like that. You're a jabroni. Go ahead.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Again, what the show hasn't been doing much lately, and Geoff and I haven't done this in a while. We figured, hey, we both happen to have a free afternoon.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so we decided let's go ahead, and then Geoff reminded me that he had never seen a Shawn Michaels match.
Somehow, I've never seen a Razor Ramon match.
Yeah, so this will be knocking out
people on any of their names.
Yeah, two birds with one stone. It's like the Shawn Michaels one is a little bit more. Razor Ramon's career petered out later. A little bit later on, but Shawn Michaels did eventually. His career took quite a roller coaster, but he prolonged his for a very long time. So it does moderately surprise me that even through clips and stuff like that, somehow he never stumbled across one. So this will be interesting.
I've seen like bits of stuff before. I've seen the clip of the "I'm sorry" to Ric Flair. I've seen little things. I just haven't really. I've never seen a full match of it. I've never seen more than a few seconds of something. Man, I guess I'm like, all right.
Well, what we're gonna watch today is a show I attended, which is Wrestlemania 10.
Nice.
I was in the crowd for this. I was going to bring this up. Very different from how things operate today. We had to mail order for those tickets back then. So I was subscribed to WWF Magazine, and if you were subscribed and you were in the area, they sent you a mail order form several months in advance, and then you found out if you got the tickets and stuff like that, and then paid for them once you were entitled to them. So yeah, I was sitting in the lower bowl for this. Actually, if you when we turn this on, if you're looking at the entranceway, I'm probably from when you're looking at the camera to the right, pretty close to dead center ring in the 100 level. So I had really good seats for WrestleMania 10.
Nice.
Back then, probably cost, if I had to take an educated guess, $40 or $50, and now would be 3 paychecks. So,
3 paychecks. 3 paychecks of a medium paying job, not even minimum wage, just to get decent seats.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to go see John Cena's last match? Pay $800 for the top level of the nosebleed.
The very, very top seat in the building. Yeah, exactly. It's really
remember at WrestleMania 41 when there was that clip of Randy Orton walking by and people we paid a lot of money for these to get here. It means so much. And then he asked how much did you pay for this VIP thing? And they're like $30,000. And he's like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, he's keeping it real.
He's like, I'm embarrassed.
It's refreshing when they keep it real like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give you a quick little history lesson, Geoff, for why this is happening. Now, we both have this freeze frame right now. You might notice there are 2 Intercontinental Championships hanging above the ring. So the reason for this is Shawn Michaels was the Intercontinental Champion in 1993. In September of 1993, he was suspended for PED use, failed the drug test, and they wound up on an episode of Monday Night Raw doing a battle royal for number 1 contenders. It was an interesting one because they had 2 winners. So it was the last 2 people who were standing would face each other on the following week's Raw, and then that would crown the new Intercontinental Champion. And it was Razor Ramon and the model Rick Martel, and Razor Ramon wound up winning. So when Michael's suspension was up, he still had the title. He didn't give it back to them. So they had to make another Intercontinental title, and they wrote it into the story that Shawn Michaels is like, I'm still the Intercontinental Champion.
So Cody Kevin was just this story being redone.
Kind of, yes. It's built off of it.
that sounds, because I love the Cody Kevin stuff when it was like that, but that sounds very similar to what they're doing here. I mean, obviously the inciting thing different, but like the run after, interesting.
So they actually kept them apart for a decent amount of time. They knew that they wanted the match at WrestleMania. At this point, they had Michaels fought in the Royal Rumble and Razor fought IRS at the Royal Rumble. But Shawn Michaels came out and interfered in that match to set the wheels in motion for the WrestleMania match. And they decided they were going to do this ladder match, which this is the first live televised ladder match. Now, there's an asterisk next to this. And if you hear anything from Bret the Hitman Hart, he will whine all day about this because he and Shawn had a ladder match the previous year, which was kind of like their test run because Bret was the one who brought the concept to them. And it's available. You can find it on YouTube. It was on home videos and stuff, but it was never like on a pay-per-view or anything like that. And a lot of people, this is the first ladder match they ever saw. And a lot of people think this is the first ladder match because it's the first one that was ever done on pay-per-view or Raw or anything like that that's widely broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So basically for this show, for WrestleMania 10, this is the first WrestleMania without Hulk Hogan.
I saw a headline about that when I was looking stuff up about this.
Yes, so they had to build this. The idea of this was I'm sure you've heard the new generation. This is where they're really trying to build the foundations to who they think are really going to be the new superstars of the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
And this match is beyond any expectation any of us had at the time. And as you will see, it creates 2 stars, 1 superstar.
Right.
And the whole event is built around, again, the new guard, and Bret Hart does wind up fighting twice in it. He faces Owen Hart in the opener, which is
I heard it was a great match.
It's an incredible match. And
then he wins the main event.
Right. And so the storyline there is at the end when he's celebrating with everybody, there's Owen Hart, who's been once again overstepped by his brother. Owen Hart has the biggest moment of his career in the opening match and once again gets upstaged by Big Brother Bret. So they really did a really, really good job with this. There's a lot of filler on it. Most of the show is kind of irrelevant in most parts. It does turn out that this is actually Macho Man Randy Savage's last match in WWF. It wasn't advertised as that or anything, but he just did commentary from this point forward. So this is his last televised match. I did not know that at the time, obviously being there.
So that's crazy because, like, I mean, I know obviously Macho Man's another person if I haven't really seen any of his actual wrestling stuff, just like, you know, the clip bits in culture,
right?
And thinking like this is 1994 and that's his last match, and you know he was in Spider-Man. That's 8 years later.
So here's the kicker: it's his last match in WWF. He defected to WCW a few months later.
That's the kicker with the phrase. Got it.
Yes.
Last
exactly.
WWF because then he went to W. Okay.
Yes. So he was put into a commentary role that he didn't want. He wanted to continue wrestling. Vince didn't want him to do it, and
So he went to WCW.
So completely nobody in the building had any idea that we were watching Macho Man's last match in WWF that day, which is crazy. But anyway, let's jump right into this. I have that for anybody who is watching with us. This is if you have it on the Netflix version. I'm pretty certain you can find this individual match on YouTube while we're yapping away, you know, buying a little bit of time for everybody. We're going to get going in just a moment. I will ask, though, obviously you've seen current iterations of ladder matches. Most of them now seem to be tending towards multi-man ladder matches, such as like the Money in the Banks and things like that.
Yeah, Money in the Bank, the ladder match at WrestleMania this year, which was one of the good matches from WrestleMania. That, you know, was great standout stuff. What's another? I mean, of course, there was the Cody Kevin one. I haven't really seen a ton of them because, like, I'm not counting the like the TLC that they did
Mhm.
after Mania last year with Profits, DIY, and who was the third team there? It was a great one. And I just can't remember who the third team was off the top of my head. And then there was they did the 6-team TLC match. I wouldn't count those because that's TLC, not just ladder. So I haven't seen a ton of ladder matches outside of Money in the Bank and the Cody one.
So, by today's standards, what we're
And
about to watch,
WrestleMania.
this might seem quote unquote tame, but by 1994 standards, this was holy shit. So, all right. So we're going to count down. Jeff, you ready?
Yeah, I got it.
I'm going to do 3, 2, 1 and hit play, and we will start. All
Okay.
right. So 3, 2, 1, play. All right.
So many memorable WrestleMania moments. There have been 9 years.
So Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler, who came back to this show after his very controversial temporary exit from the company,
Right.
which ironically is what brought Shawn Michaels back. They needed an emergency replacement for Jerry Lawler for the previous Survivor Series, so they unsuspended Michaels, and he wound up there because of that.
Hey, whatever works.
Yep. So you will notice a familiar face as Michael's bodyguard.
All right, let me see if I figure it out. It's kind of still the camera's slowly coming in. Look at that hair.
Oh, that's glorious.
From afar, it's a little hard to see. I gotta.
Yeah. Nope, he's going around it.
Is that Kevin Nash?
That is 100% Kevin Nash.
Was this back when he was Diesel?
Correct. You got it.
Credit Kevin Nash for making Raquel Rodriguez do so much better, I think, in the ring in the last year.
Yeah.
I wish that they would book her in a way to justify it more.
Right.
Like the work, because they're like booking her in ways. I'm just trying to lower the volume, but I can't see it behind the laptop here. They book her in a way that makes it like an anti-crowd pop because she's been doing great work there. But no, let's do 7 matches in a row with Stephanie Vaquer.
So the two you are watching right now, in 1 year's time, will be competing against each other for the World Championship at WrestleMania.
In the main event, or
so it's an
because
asterisk.
I know World Championships weren't always main events. I noticed.
That's the Lawrence Taylor WrestleMania. So Lawrence Taylor against Bam Bam Bigelow does go on after them.
Was that a worthy main event, or should it have been this one? Probably this matchup.
The actual main event of 10?
No. You said 11.
Okay, so
they did Taylor versus Bam
Lawrence
Bam Bigelow.
Taylor versus Bam Bam was one of the best. Razor going under the ladder. That was always a nice little touch. Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam was considered like one of the best celebrity matches ever at the time.
Celebrity match. I don't know who Lawrence Taylor is, so like hearing that a celebrity match is a main event.
Yeah. Lawrence Taylor is a linebacker for the New York Giants back in the 80s and 90s.
The only of course, I still am trying to learn more and more over time because I just think so much of it's fascinating too. But like the only celebrity main event I can think of, and it's one that richly deserved that spot too, was Backlash Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
The Bad Bunny one with Damian Priest. That's a great celebrity match that was put in the main event for a specific thing.
This was actually for WrestleMania, but WrestleMania 11 was
not
kind of
WrestleMania though.
WrestleMania 11, admittedly, like from a talent perspective, they were lacking
injuries and stuff, or was it just like
they didn't
hadn't
have the
discovered
roster.
people yet?
Yeah, they just didn't have they had like 5 guys who could carry them, and they had to pad out that show, and it's not that good of a show. 10 is far superior.
So, all right, So then it goes back to what I was asking was that celebrity match great enough to be the main event at a WrestleMania, or should it have probably been these guys?
They did enough smoke and mirrors to make it worthwhile, but Shawn and Diesel earned it. It should have been Shawn and Diesel, but the way they present the main event, they present it as a main event. Like, it's not just
it's one of those nowadays where they're just like the triple main event.
Yes, exactly.
So in this case, I'm guessing Razor Ramon is the heel now.
No, he's the face.
He's the face. Ah.
Yes, Shawn Michaels is full blown
heel, young cocky asshole dude who's like doesn't respect you because he doesn't know better.
Yeah, he is the full blown, the 100% cocky heel who just doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. He's arrogant. But the thing is he's very slowly starting to evolve at this point into a little bit more of an ass kicker than a chicken shit. Because he was a full-blown chicken shit heel when he first turned. If you've never watched the Shawn Michaels heel turn, it's one of the greatest of all time.
Isn't that are you talking about the when he you know what I'm thinking of the triple threat with Triple H and he kicks him in the head. That's not a heel turn. That's just they're in a match together.
Yeah. So it's actually way before that. It's in 1991.
Yeah, no, I realized that it was definitely not that one.
1992 it is actually. There was a interview segment called The Barber Shop, and he and his partner Marty Jannetty look like they're gonna reconcile, and instead Michaels super kicks him and throws him through the window of the barber shop, and that's his heel turn.
And there's no DQ. Are the rules for the ladder match the same here as they are now? Okay, 30 years later? That's just making sure.
Yes. And here's the referee. And Diesel. And Diesel has been ejected. They had big plans for Diesel. I think they wanted to get him just out of being like just the bodyguard.
Right.
Shortly after this, they start pulling the trigger on the Diesel.
Nice.
The Royal Rumble this year, they had made Diesel. It was the first time they ever did this with anybody. He came out and eliminated everybody in the ring and eliminated the next like 2 or 3 people before. I think it was the Macho Man came out and stopped his reign of terror. Diesel, full-blown heel, is getting cheered by the crowd after he's killing everybody.
Well, some crowds were more privy to the idea of like you can cheer on a heel.
Yep. And they listened to it, and before the end of the calendar year 94, Diesel, who right now is not even in a match, is the world champ. So, little tidbit about this match. There actually was one extra match that was scheduled to go on between this and the main event. This match went long, so it got scrapped, and like nobody was mad. They moved it to a Monday Night Raw like a week or 2 later, and they were like, yeah, after what those two did, they deserve the extra time.
You see the spit and sweat just fly into the air in like a mist from that stop. Ooh.
Was the concrete.
Oh, man.
So it's little things like that from the 90s. Like today, that's not, you see that and they get up in 10 seconds. Here, Razor's going to sell it like it's death.
Some people are still very good at selling that sort of pain.
And if this was today, there'd be like 5 ladders.
There'd be multiple, and you can pull them out. Is this the only ladder?
If I remember correctly, they only have 1 ladder in this. Yes.
Interesting. So this is definitely an early rendition of this sort of thing.
Yeah, the vast majority, unless you had seen Coliseum Video VHS, you had never seen a ladder match if you were just a WWF fan. And I don't believe WCW ever had one. So it was like you had to have seen certain like territorial places that did it. Again, more about impact than flash.
I was going to say, because, the newer ones there where there's multiple ladders, like one of the other reasons is, I mean, there's the styles have evolved too over time where there's a lot more flash, but with a lot of technique in it, where it involves breaking a lot of ladders.
Right, exactly. So they actually run this back in SummerSlam 95. And if I remember right, they had a second ladder in that one.
So when you say run this back, because if they were WrestleMania 95 and it was a world championship, that means that feud must have continued in some way to get them to the SummerSlam on that title?
It's Michaels versus Razor again. Michaels does not win the world title at WrestleMania 11 and winds up winning the Intercontinental title. And
again,
they kind of were like, we need to sell tickets. It was one of those deals like, oh, low ticket sales. How about we do the rematch of Michaels versus Razor ladder match?
So then they had
Diesel.
They had Ramon lose the title in the meantime, or no, it's against Diesel. That's right.
So
I was mixing it up that it was these two guys main event, not Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
I mixed up the running-backs
and
what
Diesel
the belt was.
Faces Mabel. Oh, through the ladder. Like
ouch.
Again, 1994. That's violent. Like if you hear some of these crowd reactions, the oohs and ahs from the crowd with some of the things they do is because we'd never seen it before. I do love the classic Madison Square Garden. They don't do it anymore, but the classic set, because they had a very short entrance ramp, so they always came up with
that one right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering where the location was because I realized I didn't see what it was.
It's so simple.
I figured it was MSG for WrestleMania. That made sense.
So they did WrestleMania 1, 10, and 20 there. So it was every like anniversary year. And there's a nice shot of Shawn Michaels' ass. He had a tendency to do that. So I don't think he's full-blown 100% coked out Shawn quite yet, but he's getting there.
So he had a tendency to do that, I'm assuming only on pay-per-views, though.
No, he did that pretty much every night.
But like on broadcast television, or cable, they allowed that to be shown?
So the thing you have to keep in mind, they didn't do a lot of marquee matches, so if he was out there, it was probably a squash. So
no, I'm just talking about on television versus on a pay-per-view.
Oh yeah. They would censor it.
Okay, but this is
Yep, that's the most iconic. Like you will see that shot of Michaels with his arms in the air. That's like the most iconic shot of the match. This is a fun little tidbit. I don't know if I've ever told you this or not, but when I was with Ben Bateman a few years ago, he told us that Christian Harloff told him to study 90s Shawn Michaels for his character.
Well, that's fun.
Yep.
You think he did?
I think
90s Shawn Michaels?
I think he did at least a little bit of research, if nothing else.
Ooh, at the very least, checking the promos, because that's what really would translate to the character work for the Schmodown, which was a thing that existed at one point in time.
Yeah. So Michaels here, though, like, and again, there's only a handful of people who really did the. If you were a high flyer, you had a ceiling, unless you were the Macho Man Randy Savage, pretty much at this point. if you were under 300 pounds, it was unusual that Vince was going to look at you and say, "That's my champion."
Yeah, he was. I'm thinking. I'm seeing stuff like recently. On the algorithm, shit pops up, talking about Sami Zayn and like he doesn't have the look and whatnot. Like he never should have even been champion. Blah blah blah. That's a whole separate conversation. But just for the look, and it's like no, Vince had a very specific look, and it translated into convincing you all that those type of people should be the ones who look that way as champion.
So
it's interesting that's still a conversation ongoing.
So this event, obviously, I mentioned it's the first one without Hogan. They kind of started the trend. They put Bret Hart as the champion about a year and a half earlier than this, and then Hogan came back briefly, so they figured out how to shoehorn the title back onto Hogan, which was absolutely ludicrous. And then Yokozuna became a heel champion for close to a year when they finally decided to pull the trigger at the big event at WrestleMania. They held off on taking it off him at WrestleMania so Bret Hart could get his actual moment.
Nice. Now, here's a question. It might sound a little dumb, but I think it's worth a shot because talking about eras.
Yeah.
The Attitude Era, is this firmly in it? Is it early in
this
that?
Is earlier.
It's not even it's like it hasn't even really like kicked in yet at this point, because I remember, Steve Austin and The Rock and whatnot, that's starting to get to like 97, 98 or whatever. So I was wondering 94 what that
94 is considered the new generation. The Attitude Era somewhat starts in 96. It doesn't really the real birth of the Attitude
new generation, then Attitude Era is the next sort of chunk.
Yeah, so it 100% is. It depends on where you want to specifically say it starts. Do you say it starts with the Montreal Screwjob? Do you say that it starts with Austin winning the title? It's either 97 or 98 is the official start of the Attitude Era.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Michaels had to help jump forward to get that, but it worked great. Oof, that was smooth.
As you can, you watch this match, clearly Razor is holding his own and is doing perfectly fine, but Michaels is
Razor seems to be like he's clearly taller, he's bigger, so he's moving a touch slower, as though he's the big strong guy here.
Right.
And letting Michaels kind of do more of the showy, like showing out. The one where, I know who wins on this one. So it's like, it's that what they do with a lot of guys versus like an established champion. It's the put him over in defeat thing. Like they tried to do with Jacob recently, or LA Knight against at Crown Jewel.
So with what you're saying, like, obviously Razor wins the match, but Michaels became the star.
Because Razor was already somewhat of a star at this point, right?
They're both pretty comparable. Razor, unfortunately, in WWF, they never really gave him a full-blown shot at the main event. He was always at the Intercontinental Championship. Years.
Did he go to WWE? Did he go to WCW at any point? Or
yes, he's one of the founders of the NWO.
Okay.
So it's Diesel and Razor are the two who started the.
That's
NWO.
right. I was like, wait a minute, that's who the third person is. It's Kevin Nash and Hulk, and then who was the third? It's him. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So then this is another thing, because everything WCW is now also just legacy of WWE,
right?
For stuff. It's interesting. Because I didn't realize NWO was WCW, not WWF.
There was 3 years there that WCW beat WWF.
That's the Monday Night Wars and whatnot. There's a yeah. See, look at that. If the ladder breaks, like nowadays, luckily they have multiple ones. If this is still the only one, they got to somehow get up without it buckling under them.
Yeah, you can see it's no longer level.
Yeah,
they get around it, but
I bet they probably would have had another one under the ring just in case.
Sure, they did. I'm sure the actual work ladder that they used was under there. So, so like right there, the ladder was uneven, so it didn't really. Razor sold it anyway, but
I mean, yeah.
We all thought they were going to have like all me and we had a row of 10 of us there. We all thought they were both going to be up there, and one was going to grab each belt, and then like have to do some kind of this match must continue somehow.
That's okay. So once again, going back to the Cody Kevin one, because that's really like my main point of comp comparison for this. I actually convinced myself that they were going to have Kevin win the newer looking belt and Cody wins the older looking one somehow, and that one it would have had Kevin be, because they at that point they had never officially unified WWE Championship and the Universal Championship,
right?
And they could have had Universal and just SmackDown, and Cody could have been something. And then I thought, no, it just adds another. Makes
it's an extra layer.
That's the same thing as this baby.
So I want to point out there, Michaels did Sweet Chin Music, but it wasn't his finisher yet. He didn't. It was just part of his.
Did they say Sweet Chin Music there?
Be honest, I have the audio on pretty low, so I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was called Sweet Chin Music at this point. It was just a super kick, I think.
I forgot I could have put the subtitles on and it would have lined up correctly because it's an archived one, but oh well. The ladder twisted and bent.
Yep. So I don't remember the specifics, but like I'm pretty.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh,
that's gonna hurt him just as much as it hurts Razor with that going into his ribs.
I like how he stands up triumphantly and then immediately is like, oh, and
God, damn it. Yeah, they were definitely supposed to have ended this match already, and they were like, just let them go. This match actually has a super creative finish. It's the first one, and they came up with a really creative way to finish it.
You're gonna push up and bend them in, and then he falls back. Oh.
You'll see it in a sec.
Oh.
He gets his leg caught in the rope. He's stuck. He can't get out.
The work that you have to do to be able to land in a way to do that on purpose too.
If you watch him, if you replay that, the artistry he does in getting his leg there is pretty fantastic. And now he's freed himself and got his arm. He's doing the Three Stooges bit now, pretty much.
Oh my God. He wins, but then he just falls from that height too.
That hurt. That hurt.
He didn't have to take that final bump. That was a good match.
So, like I said, they were planning for big things for Diesel. Very, very shortly after this, they had Diesel fight Razor and just steamrolled through him to win the Intercontinental title. And it's like, yeah, he had the ladder match. They use that as the excuse. Like, Razor's still banged up from the ladder match, and Diesel becomes the champion pretty
The banged up stuff,
that.
yeah, it's good when you remember to sell injuries that you had in a match.
This was, I think this might have been the cover of WWF Magazine that month.
Some real hype music playing. His music.
That's something if you ever have like just free time, like go through and find the new generation era music. So there's some bangers in there. They had a much better composer back then. So this is we'll leave it rolling for a second. This is the 10-man tag that gets canceled.
Is that the those guys right there? Is that
That is Rikishi is to the right. That is the Usos' dad.
Yeah.
That's IRS Bray Wyatt's dad.
All right. I'm gonna hit play. I'm gonna hit pause on it now. Damn.
All right. So yeah, what do you
awesome.
Your thoughts on that? Like
it was awesome. It was less chaotic than I would have expected, just because the ladder matches I've seen thus far have been, and like they've all been multi-man ones except for the Cody Kevin one, and even then that was multi-ladder at least.
So in this one, with the one exception where Shawn jumps off of it, the ladder is literally used as a weapon rather than like a springboard, like it is in the modern era. Like the ladder's used as a prop, but here it was like it's the impact of the ladder that meant more than anything.
Yeah.
One move did then what 10 moves does now, and it was a lot more selling. And both of these guys for that time frame, again. You're looking at, you watch a Hulk Hogan match from that era versus that, it's night and day.
Mm-hmm.
But that was great. That was pretty much where it was like, okay, Shawn Michaels can go to the next level. They have such like I said, they have such a depleted roster by WrestleMania 11. There's two things happen. First off, they finally pull the trigger and decide to make Shawn the top heel. Mm-hmm. With Diesel turning face and Diesel winning the world championship is a whole nother story I could go over a whole nother day. But the big thing though, the roster is so bad that at the Royal Rumble, they were like, they had nothing to throw in there. They had 1 minute intervals. So Shawn Michaels enters at number 1, but the match lasts 30 minutes. So yeah. There's a big asterisk next to that one. Like, yes, he did enter number 1 and won it, but the Royal Rumble is the shortest one in history.
Yeah, that's true. I was bugging me trying to remember that TLC match last year before the SummerSlam one, when it was just the 3 right after WrestleMania, because that was a Mania quality match for that. It was Motor City Machine Guns. So it was Street Profits, DIY Motor City Machine Guns. That was amazing. I do like some TLCs when I love the chaos of them all.
So a match at some point, if we start doing these,
I've seen the Edge Dudley.
That's the one I was going to mention.
Hardy's ones. I've seen those ones. All 3 of those.
3 of those. That was the first one, the one that's at WrestleMania 2000.
X7.
That one is what really got the multi-man ladder match as a thing. That's the first time they did more than a one-on-one for the ladder match. And that really, again, as much of a game changer as this match is, that was to that as well.
Yeah. It's game changers at different time mean different things because we're more used to more stuff. So back then we didn't have all some of the crazy stuff we do now. So I get it.
And I don't remember exactly. I'd have to double check. If I remember correctly, WrestleMania 10 was like an afternoon show. It was interesting because like it's at Madison Square Garden and
I wish shows would start when they're longer shows. They'd start like I would like not thrilled obviously of Mania next year being in Saudi, but if
the start time will be nice.
The start time will be nice. Like I know you don't really watch it. I haven't been watching all the weekly stuff, but I watch the pay-per-views of AEW and then like individual matches from the TV stuff. I got to catch up in the last few weeks from Forbidden Door to now on this few things, but they go like 5.5 hours. Some of these pay-per-views, and it's like they start at 8 p.m. Like I went to AEW Dynasty. That's the main card started at 8. There were 3 cards in the pre-show, and then I left after midnight, and it's like 4.5 hours, that sort of thing. And they don't do like big promo spots and ad things. It's just match after match, and they're all awesome all the time, I think, but it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. So we went to WrestleMania 33 in Orlando.
Starting earlier would be nice.
WrestleMania 33. It's in April. It's pretty hot out. It's in the 80s. The sun is glaring down on the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
First match of the pre-show starts at 5:30. The show ended at 12:15. It was absurd.
Like, just started earlier when you know you're going to have a long show like that, because they've been able to do it, to plan around other stuff, planning around the convenience of the people. At least do one thing nicer for like the people that you're price gouging.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it easier for everyone else.
Like, especially like now when there's no football on and you've got a captive audience on either Saturday or Sunday. Why not a 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock start? Yeah.
It's like All In last year. They had an NXT thing in the afternoon, and then it goes right into Saturday night's main event. Or they had a Saturday night's main event, and then the next day was Evolution. Like, they built it all up, but they did it at times that like worked for people.
Right. Right.
Because they showed they could have a show in the afternoon. So just do it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Just absolutely do it. But yeah, glad you got your first exposure to both Shawn and Razor. Shawn's
Full
career,
exposure, yeah.
Shawn's career is like a fascinating journey because he's only around for another 3 years before he retires the first time.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, because like, well, I've seen like WrestleMania 2000, and that I know had Rikishi in there, but I don't remember either. Was Scott in that one?
Nope, he's in WCW at that point.
So see, like, even like the things where I have seen a couple matches in those general timeframes of either being active, like I didn't watch anything that had them in it when they were multi-man things like that.
Yep, so Scott is only in WWF for another 2 years. He left. Scott and Kevin Nash Diesel it was Memorial Day 96 is when the NWO angle started. So
nice.
Just a little over 2 years after that, both of them are gone, and Shawn by that point is WWF champion, but all of his friends have left.
Yeah.
So it's a interesting time frame to say the least. If you've ever gone to I've told you about the website wrestlecrap.com, a large portion of it comes from that time frame, from the nonsense that they were throwing on screen.
All right. So I'm looking at the names of the eras we're going to, the actual name of it. You said New Generation.
Yep.
But there's, I guess, I'm looking to see the name here because, oh, that doesn't have the name of the era. God damn it. I thought it was going to tell me what I was actually looking for. On the page about the Attitude Era. I'm just trying to see if there's like an actual name of it to correspond with.
Yeah, so the Attitude Era, again, like it depends on where
the
you
Invasion. No, that's the Montreal Screwjob is not. Yeah. Okay, I see.
Invasion's in 2001.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm just gonna Google names of wrestling eras
because it's the golden era is from the 80s until 93.
Oh, I should have just hit history of WWE. It would have actually just listed them for me. God damn it.
Yeah. 93 starts the New Generation.
Yeah, it's
could be considered actually.
It's Golden Era, New Generation Era, Attitude Era.
Yep.
Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yep. PG Era.
PG Era. Yep. Reality Era. The New Era. The New Era, which kind of includes Thunderdome. I guess Thunderdome, I feel like, should just in general be kind of listed as its own era, just simply because it's wholly singular to that time.
It's almost unwatchable to rewatch.
Yeah, then it's the post-COVID period doesn't really have a name to it, but there's there has to be that Thunderdome period between Thunderdome to
post-COVID.
I would say the end of Thunderdome is kind of the beginning of that resurgence.
They had a
thing.
resurgence, which
And then it goes through Mania 4. I think all of 2024. It's the resurgence of the Triple H takeover, and then everything changed with the Netflix era. Now I saw there was a wrestling, one of the dirt sheets or people that at least communicate or have insider knowledge. Sometimes they are wrong or things change, etc. This one guy, Ibu from Self Made, and he had tweeted out, it's like, everything changed from like the heat went off at the beginning of the Netflix era when they started, and it had the greatest wrestling heel character of all time come out and immediately break kayfabe to just decide to just stop doing it and show it's all fake and didn't mean anything. Everything changed after that moment. Everything you're locked into suddenly doesn't matter. It's interesting. There's so many good things that keep happening in the middle, but god damn.
It's all the corporate era now. Basically,
it is the TKO era.
Yeah,
this is
there's ads on the ring, things like that.
Because once they started with ESPN, they started doing in-event ad breaks.
Yep. It really is. It's such a cash grab now, and it's truly sad. Like Geoff and I were talking about this in a conversation, a group chat we have, that you can't bring a family of 4 to an event affordably anymore.
No, it's just like it's crazy. Like they said, Mark Shapiro, whoever it is that's in charge of that, he was like, like Vince was pricing it for families. He wasn't seeing what the high tiers, like he basically said in to paraphrase it, that they're going to continue to try and increase prices until they genuinely can't anymore. It just feels like they're trying to borders this thing. They're trying to squeeze as much money out of it in as short a period as possible, and then maybe dump it.
And
because there's no way that they can do. There's no way that they can continue to do this and expect that it will always have goodwill. They can't have. The only reason there were less people that came to WrestleMania this year than last year, which is called what is it? Burning the territory. When you're killing the territory, because you're repeating the same big ass business there, all the money there, which also pissed off all of the other companies that do all these events, and they have to plan out in advance when they knew it was going to be New Orleans and then suddenly it wasn't. But they're killing the territory, so less people went, and they increased the prices, so it was the biggest one financially. But there were less people going.
They made more money with less people.
Yeah, just crazy. Anyways. There's plenty of soul and plenty of this stuff that we haven't seen yet. I haven't seen, the only Undertaker match I've ever seen is one that was absurdly boring. And it was Undertaker versus Undertaker.
Yes. I was gonna say the Undertaker is a bizarre one because he is so much better when he is older than when he is younger. When he is younger, some of his stuff is borderline unwatchable because he's basically playing a zombie.
Like what I'd like to do is, because I know he also has the Mania streak, I'd want to see of the matches of his that I think I'd like to see in order if I'm checking stuff out. I'm not saying we do it all in one day. I don't know. I'm just kind of saying it out loud, spitballing. Maybe I'll do it on my own separately. Who knows? I want to see the Hell in a Cell one with him and Mankind, of course. I think that's a great, inciting one. Needs to be seen. I've seen clips. I've seen because I watched just the other day. I saw clips of it on some doctor was reacting to watching it and just being like, "Oh yeah, he's hurt," when he fell through the top onto the ground. He's like, "Oh, he's hurt." Thanks, doctor. Real keen eye you got there. But then I want to see the that 4-year Mania streak of Michaels, Triple H, or is it 2 and 2 like that, or
that is correct?
There's a streak like that.
Be honest, I've seen the Michaels matches. When the Triple H matches are kind of in my dead zone. I've never seen those, so that would be a first watch for me.
But also the Michaels matches are 26 I think was the second one, 25 was the first one, and I think I've heard 26 is one of the greatest matches of all time, but it's not even the best Undertaker Michaels match because that's 25, and it's the number one Mania match of all time, allegedly. Gotta see it.
The two of them also have the very first Hell in a Cell match, which is also insane.
I'd want to see that. I'd like to see their trilogy then. So that I bet would be Mania, Hell in a Cell, then Mania again.
No. The Hell in a Cell happens in Michael's first run. It's the very first Hell in a Cell match that ever happened.
Oh, well, then
that's
maybe I'd
the-
want to see that before he does
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell with Mankind then, because then that sets up very interesting.
The Hell in a Cell, I won't spoil it if you don't know,
I
but
don't know it.
Hell in a Cell 97 Undertaker versus Michaels has one of the biggest debuts of all time as part of it. So
Nice.
maybe we'll do that next. That's a good one. I think
We'll do that next. We'll
Hell
figure
in
it
a
out.
Cell-
Why don't we do that? Well, that'll be a great way to turn into Undertaker. That'll then build off of, because I think that would be a really fun thing to do, and we can do 2 at a time depending on the length of, if with availability.
That's the one catch with these Undertaker WrestleMania matches. Some of them are long.
That's why I said depending. That's why I said depending.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah,
He lost to Brock Lesnar in like a 20-minute match. Brock Lesnar doesn't do 20-minute matches.
You've seen Brock Lesnar did when he was younger. He actually,
yes, when he was younger, sure. I'm just like,
he has an
it's
Iron
absurd
Man
to
match.
think of it now.
Brock Lesnar has an Iron Man match with Kurt Angle that goes an hour. Like he used
One
to
Michaels match I'd love to have seen, but I don't know if it's available. It's the Raw Iron Man match of Michaels John Cena. That was the Raw after Mania, wasn't it?
No,
They did a Mania match in it.
It's not the Raw after Mania because it's in England,
Mm.
but that match is very unique because they advertised things going on after it. So then they're like, oh, like in kayfabe, they're like, oh crap, this is still going, and because that match started at the beginning of what would have been the second hour, and then
And it was just the whole hour.
ate up the entire rest of the run.
Did it have ad breaks during it, or
I believe so, yes.
were they picture-in-picture ad breaks? Because like
At that point they didn't do that.
One thing, especially comparing the TKO era of television broadcasting, they're on Netflix. Come on, 4-minute ad breaks on Netflix.
Why do you
It's
need them?
crazy. But I noticed at least when I'm checking out like TV era stuff or the TV stuff from AEW, they have a couple of like at the top of the hour or something, that sort of thing, like a 90-second or 2-minute ad break. They do it maybe twice in the whole show. Any other ad break is picture in picture.
Mm-hmm.
They do the opposite now. They do the opposite with WWE stuff. They have it where there's just they do like half a promo and then there's a thing, or they do an entrance and then there's an ad break. They do like 2 picture-in-pictures maximum on SmackDown on USA, and they don't do any picture-in-picture on Netflix.
It's crazy that just the ad.
They've had some awesome matches in the last year and a half that they've had on Raw. Like not a ton compared to what they allow on what people can actually do at the time, the way they book, but there have been some that are awesome. Put in picture-in-picture. You're on streaming.
The match that for the longest time was considered the best match on Raw, which was Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels against the British Bulldog and Owen Hart, has 2 ad breaks. It's like, so it's on, you can find it, but it's chopped up. Like that's an actual like 20-minute match, but because of the ad breaks, like what you actually see is like 12 minutes.
Yeah. That's like, I read like, I check when I go like to read like recaps after a show, Bleacher Report, just to see, they do like a breakdown, they give a little bit of insight and opinion, but really it just helps kind of like describe in broad strokes what's going on, as opposed to me just looking at my Twitter feed if I'm not watching the show live.
Right.
And they would be like, oh yeah, this match, like they don't really give it much of a grade for the whole. They grade individual like segment stuff, and it's like, oh, this match here, it like it seemed like the work was good, but like we're giving it a C because it ran 7 minutes and 4 of those were an ad break, so you don't really get to see much of it because it was
right.
They had an entrance and then you go right into an ad break and you come back and then it's like 2 minutes left and then it ends and it goes to another ad break after that. So we're gonna give it a C because didn't really get much out of it. Nothing.
It's crazy.
Anyways, all right, I'm gonna stop complaining and
well, let's wrap it up for now. But we'll definitely do this again soon. Jeff and I don't have any defined schedule for when we do this. It's like, hey, you're free, let's do it. That's basically the way this show works.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely do this again. And Jeff, we'll have to bring you on the actual What the Show if we ever do one again.
I'm around Wednesday nights sometimes. Depends.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm just watching TV. Who knows?
Yeah. Right on, everybody. Well, as Justin and Juice would say, squeeze it easy.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
It's 2 minutes for roping. I like that. You're a jabroni.